Well, good evening. You're watching State of the Nation here on Peter Mama Media on this 29th day of June 2023. You are reminded that you only have one day to file your returns, and so that you are not gotten on the wrong side by the Kenya Revenue Authorities. Welcome to yet another episode of the State of the Nation, and in the episode today, I'm privileged to host two gentlemen. Emmanuel Magoba is a political science student and a representative of the Kenya Private Universities. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you.
Is your first time in Limuru or you've been here?
It's actually my first time.
It's your first time?
Sure.
I hope it was sunny outside here. All right, on my immediate right is Brian Nyongeza, who is a political analyst, a politician also in the university as well, who has set his foot very straight and campaigned in the last SPUSA elections. Gentlemen, your time is appreciated here, and I want us to get into the issues because we have a raft of issues to begin with, and I want to begin with you, Brian, on this one. What do you think is the way forward for Kenya? Because now they said that the finance bill, whether we like it or not, it is going to pass. I quote the words of the minority whip, that is Honorable Silvana Sosoro, says that if the bill is presented in Parliament, his work is to ensure that it passes, whether we like it or not. It has not been passed to law. What are your reflections?
Thank you, Peter. My take as far as this issue is concerned, because you are aware that this finance bill, just the way the president placed it the other day, that it's a law right now.
Yes.
And forever it's a law, people must adapt to it so that you can move forward.
Yes.
Because you cannot just stay like that, because maybe it will not favor you at some points. Yes. So my advice or my point, my take to as far as this issue is concerned is just to tell the Kenyans that it has happened, and we cannot just stay like that, but instead we adopt how we can handle these issues. For example, the VAT and everything,
yes,
the taxation mode. We adopt and come up with new ideas, new ways in which we can do what we can survive.
Okay, we will get into the issues of which tax has been raised, which has been reduced. But Emmanuel, I wonder what your thoughts are. Are Kenyans being forced into adhering the rules and regulations of the Kenya Kwanza government? Because we were told that whether we like it or not, how those sentiments, what is your reflection on what transpired in the finance bill 2023?
My friend,
yes,
change is inevitable.
Yeah.
And we have to embrace change. But just as a society is, and because I'm a political science student, I'll go with whatever has happened there before and whatever we are experiencing.
Yeah.
Aristotle tells us that man is a political animal,
and
he really is. So even this finance bill, it was expectations of those who brought it that it will face opposition. So the statement, whether you like it or not, it doesn't go to Kenyans. It goes to Kenyans who do not want to embrace change. So we have to get this change our lives, how we live, for us to develop as a nation. So the statement goes to a specific group of individuals who are anti-change. And these are individuals making Kenyans not to progress. But then we thank God that they'll have to embrace it.
Right. You're let me stick on you on that. You are a very senior person in the Kenya Private Universities. You are a representative there, and also a political science student.
Sure.
What do you think the Kenyans will do? Because the government of the day rode on a platform where people who support the hustlers, but the proposed taxations which are there, they are not favoring the so-called hustlers. What do you think the life of a hustler will be now, because we have a Finance Act 2023?
Remember, this Finance Act does not only affect the hustlers,
yes,
but everyone in the society. But then, as a way of getting into this change, we will have to cope with it. We will have to change our tactics, how we've been dealing with things. Remember when a good example, when the COVID-19 situation came in, there were hesitations. People never wanted to change how they were doing things. But at end, we had to change. The circumstances made us change to cope up with the situation. So with the finance bill also, people are going to get to this situation. And in the end, at the end of all this, we will, because the president actually wants our nation to develop. We want Kenya to go where it was in 1960s and 1970s, when Kenya was giving even loans to other nations. So that is where we are getting to. And we can't be doing things same way and expect different results. We need to change. So my hope and my belief and what I know is that hustlers and just like any other Kenyan, they are going to cope up with the situation.
Brian, why while we are on this, I saw the leader of Azimio la Umoja One Coalition Party, Raila Odinga, ordered a mega rally in Kamukunji on Tuesday, and he said that for us to move forward, let's avoid using some of the vehicles. Let's work as a measure to deny the government the tax through, the implementation of what he proposed there. Do you think this is the right way for the Honorable Raila Odinga to lead the opposition in trying to make sure that the government does not collect enough taxes from the wananchi?
You see, Peter.
Yes.
Dealing with this government, it requires a lot of intelligence. Because
what do you mean it requires a lot of intelligence?
Because the reason why I'm using the word intelligent is that the two people in the office, in the top positions, they are very much intelligent. And to go straight to the point, the president and his deputy, these are the people who are very intelligent. Before they sign anything in that office, they normally consult, do a lot of research, and before they come up with that signature, at the end of it, that is, they must have a valid evidence and all information, how to protect it, how to defend it, and everything, they have it at hand. So back to that point of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya party leader, that is Honorable Raila Odinga. His initiatives about the demonstrations, the so-called maandamano, on his side, or on the side of Azimio people, we see it as the best way. Because even in the law, in the constitution, there is a right for people to do what? To demonstrate.
And picket. But peacefully though, not throwing stones.
No, you see, when Raila Odinga is announcing that maandamano, there is nowhere that this man is instructing people to do or to take stones or to do what, but it's the police officers who normally makes the civilians to pick those stones and to throw them. But because the government doesn't want these people to demonstrate. Even if it's peaceful. The government doesn't want.
What do you mean by the government does not want? It's a constitutional right.
It's a constitution, yes. But take for instance, just the last maandamano that happened. For this one in CBD. People just turn up as early as possible. But whenever the police, at the moment the police just saw them coming, and then they started equipping themselves to attack them. So you can just see directly that the government is against that.
So for you, police are forcing people to throw stones?
Not even, you see, when I say the police, meaning the government.
All right.
Because,
my friend Peter.
Emmanuel, as you respond on that, is the government then using excessive force to deny people the right to picket and to demonstrate, as you reflect on some of the sentiments made by Brian?
I'll get there, whether government is using force or denying them. But then I want to remind my friend Brian and all my friends in Azimio Brigade. I want to remind you this, and this is just a little common sense. It is common sense that we cannot continue living in denial. We had elections in 2022, September 9th.
Correct.
Kenyans came, more than 8 million Kenyans, not even 8. I mean, millions of Kenyans came out and they decided whoever should control the leadership of this nation for the next 5 years. And so, my friends in Azimio, I just want to remind you that we can never continue living in denial. We have to accept and move on.
But they have a right, though, to persecute their point in regards to the constitution and the laws of the land.
But then their right must also be having a basis. I mean, let us come with some basis. You know, you cannot just wake up like how they do. They come in the morning, they wake up with sufuria. You know, a country that is 60 years,
yes,
someone waking up, someone with millions in his account, actually, millions, coming up with some old sufurias, putting on heads. That one does not bring food.
But they are
on our
demonstrating
table.
on behalf of the millions of Kenyans who do not have something to put on that sufuria there. That's why
You
they
know-
are putting the
you know-
sufuria on the head.
You know, Peter,
Yes.
Kenyans are very expressive. Kenyans know how to express themselves. So 300 people coming out with sufurias, and then you want to say that these ones are expressing on behalf of 50 million, then I can't buy that. And then on the issue of government, or rather the police coming out,
Yes.
you know, my friend, this nation, just like any other modern nation, we have protected areas. There are some areas that are protected, just like in your house.
Yes.
You can have somewhere where not even your child can step at that area.
But we have seen a lot of places where free and members are attacked by the police.
Well, you know, when you stand up today,
Yes,
as a leader, and then you tell your people, so tomorrow we will be heading to State House.
yes,
What do you expect? One, that is incitement. What are you going to do to State House? Why will you journey with almost 500 Kenyans to go to State House?
Okay.
I mean, you don't have an appointment there. That is not just any other house that you'll march the way you march into your kitchen.
Okay.
That is a State House where where our power is.
okay,
I mean,
okay,
Maybe my take there.
yes,
You cannot use the word appointment
Yeah.
in this case. Demonstration and appointment, they are two different things. You know, appointment.
so
that
you want to demonstrate to State
just
House.
hang on.
Wait, demonstration.
hang
You
on.
want to demonstrate.
hang on.
I mean,
Just hang on, Brian. Just give him time. Yeah, he gives
You
you
see,
time. Yes, Brian.
demonstration and appointment, they are two different things. So, an appointment, maybe you had requested earlier on, maybe for that person or maybe the head of state to receive you maybe in the days to come. But a demonstration, that is the thing that is it's well known. Every person in the nation is aware,
Yes.
and it's announced publicly.
Okay.
So, marching into the state house,
Yeah.
that is something that is well known.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay.
I just have a question
briefly
for him.
in 20 seconds.
I just have a question for him.
Yes.
Imagine you are in bad terms with your neighbors. Would you allow them to march into your bedroom?
Okay. I think it's we cannot, and I hope let's stick to the issue at hand. Let's avoid the bedroom. Let's stick to the issue. I want us to focus on winding this discussion from your end, and I want to start with you, Emmanuel, on this. Has the president been over-promising Kenya? Because we wake up and he's saying this thing, tomorrow he's saying another thing, and he has been, you know, it's on record. Sometimes he says things, and sometimes he says the other thing, which is not factual. Has the president been over-promising?
You know, Peter,
Yes.
president is just a human being like you are. And on the issue of promises, a promise, you are not supposed to be seeing the result. No, not unless he tells you, by 10 p.m. I'll have given you this. And then this is a nation. You know, today if a president gave a promise where funds are supposed to be used,
Yes.
and then he marches, get the funds and implement that project without consulting the treasury,
Yes.
without parliament voting on that, you know, that is a problem, and that is a breach of the constitution.
Yes.
So however much the president is promising goodies for Kenyans, he also has to work within the provisions of the constitution.
Yeah.
I promise a stadium today.
Yeah.
you don't expect president to use his money to come up with a stadium for the nation. No. So all these issues, we have to take them to the parliament, treasury, because these are the people with the finances to implement whatever president promises. But then when we take these things to the parliament, you will see our brothers from Azimio. It's very funny that sometimes they even walk out when we actually need them to fight for the Kenyans who elected them to represent them at the decision-making table.
So has been the president, has the president been over-promising as you respond to some of the claims made by Emmanuel that your side, your MPs are walking out of parliament? As you respond to that, has the president been over-promising?
You see, Peter.
Yes.
Just the way I've said.
Yes.
This government has two people who are very intelligent in every corner. So back to this point of promises, there are a lot of promises that they have not been made up to date.
Yes.
And for example, this issue of hustlers.
Yes.
The president during his campaign stated clearly that his first agenda is to defend the rights of these hustlers and to ensure that they live in a very conducive and a good environment.
Yes.
But what are we seeing now? We are seeing the opposite now, because my brother has just mentioned that our MPs are moving out, and also
they are running away from their job.
They are running away from the discussion.
From their job.
Not their job, but the topic of the discussion. And there are some circumstances under which these MPs, they run out of this these discussions. Because, for example, you can... the discussion over the finance bill, for example, they just concluded the debate.
Briefly.
You can see that the president used all the means to get the MPs from the other side to bring them into his team. So by doing that, and then, for example, you, Peter.
Yes.
You are on a certain team, and then you just see your players being picked up, bribed, and you are there. What can you do?
We don't have evidence of who was bribed and who was not.
But not even the bribing or anything. But today, are you elected to serve the people or to serve the president?
Gentlemen, it's okay. I want to take your final thoughts on this. We will have another time because time is really fast spent. I want to get your final thoughts on the whole issue and the topic of discussion today. What are your final thoughts? Which way Kenya post-finance bill 2023?
So, generally, my take is that is to urge, number one, the Kenyans, and then number two, I'll direct it to the government officials. So my point to the Kenyans, first of all, is to calm down. Then number two, find new ways on how to cope up with the taxation mode and generally the way the cost of living. And then number two, to the government now, directed to the president, is that wherever much these taxes is being imposed, then at some points he should also at least consider some of the things that the Kenyans also need. For example, the price of the commodities. He may find a way in which he can control from shooting up at least the Kenyans to be because there is a lot of tension in the country right now, whereby the price of unga has gone up. So maybe the president may just come up with a solution to that.
Thank you, Brian. Emmanuel, your final reflections.
Now that Brian did not use all the time allocated to him, I think I'm in the right space to utilize it.
No, briefly, just briefly, please. Time is fast spent. My director is saying that time is fast spent. Yes, go on.
I like to remind Kenyans that human life is always progressive. Life is progressive. Economy is appreciative. We are always appreciating and not depreciating. So the price issue we actually have to accept, even though it's painful at this moment, but then we have to cope up with if we want to develop our nation without relying on the foreign aids. And another point to Kenyans, and especially Kenyans in Azimio.
Yes.
You know, we have this great scholar in political science called Socrates, existed around 1469 BC. And he comes up with a theory of democracy. And he asked the people of that time, when you are traveling with a ship, will you trust a trained person to
steer the ship?
Yeah, or just anybody? And the answer is well known to even my Azimio colleagues. You have to go with a trained person.
Okay.
Same to democracy.
Yes.
Democracy requires someone with experience. We had the right candidates, both Raila and Ruto were right candidates. So whoever won was the right candidate for that space. And in defense of whatever I'm trying to put across, is that we are discussing of a guy who has seen all the Kenyan presidents, has worked to almost 4 Kenyan presidents inside.
Yeah.
He served Moi, even though by then he was a bit an MP, but then he was also in YK.
Yes.
92, I mean. This guy has served Kibaki. He has been in Kibaki, the Dunsumkate government. He has been a minister.
Okay.
This guy has been a deputy president for 10 years. We are talking...
Which guy are we talking again?
This is William Samoei Ruto.
Okay.
He has been a deputy president for 10 good years.
Yes.
So this is a guy with experience. He knows what made Moi... the advantages that made Moi succeed and what made him lose.
Okay.
Knows what made Kibaki succeed, what made him lose. Knows what has made our guy Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta succeed and what made him lose.
Okay.
So when this guy combine all these things, he's able to make one of the best Kenyan presidents.
Right.
And if William Ruto won't be able to get the solutions of Kenyans, then we have to pray for this nation.
Okay. Emmanuel Mugoba, no,
let me just say something.
In 10 seconds, in just less than
before
10.
you conclude,
yes,
or you finish.
Yes.
I just want to challenge him over the last point of that of Socrates.
Yes.
That historian.
Yes.
That guy.
Yes.
Because he also say in another statement.
Yes.
That for one to defend the human rights.
Yeah.
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 And for it to be achieved to the latter,
yes,
then you must set politics aside.
Okay.
So my advice also to the government.
But the same man is a political.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Emmanuel Mugoba is a political science student and a representative of Kenya private universities. Thank you so much. Quite philosophical in your presentation, I must say. Thank you so much, and a strong support of the government, I can tell. And Brian Nyongeza is a political analyst and politicians as well. Gentlemen, your time is appreciated here. Thank you so much. We hope we do this again in this forum. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for our online viewers who have made this discussion very possible. Let me know your comments on the comment section on how life is going to be in the Post-Finance 2023 Act, which is now signed into law by the President William Ruto. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Peter Mwema. See you on the next production. Thank you so much.